Reverend Amy Crawford. She's going to be telling you a little bit more about children, family, and youth options. She's going to pass the mic to Michael Smith, our Minister of Music, as well as Sarah Elliott, who is the head of our Godly Play Sunday School. So with that, here's a little more from Amy, and then I'm going to go through the adult education highlights for the fall. Here's Amy.
Thank you. Good morning. It's so good to see, I'll back up a little bit so I get to see everybody. It's so good to see all of you this morning. Thank you for coming out through rain and wind. We have a lot of exciting things on the horizon, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we are planning, hoping, dreaming for, and then I'm going to invite you to be part of that planning, hoping, and dreaming. So first and most importantly, parents who are well-resourced, grounded in their spirituality, who are encouraged and supported in their faith, have kids who are well-resourced, grounded, supported, and encouraged in their faith. The place where we start for children's education, for Christian education with young people, is with parents. We want to support you. To that end, we have begun dreaming about that. What does it mean for us to come alongside you and support you, resource you, encourage you in the way that you raise up your own child in their own faith life? And so we have a few thoughts. One of those thoughts is possibly to hold some sort of relaxed, casual parents group, a gathering where parents can get together and have it be discussion-based, have it be self-supported, have you have a space where you can really learn, listen, and figure out what it means to do life in this complicated era and to do it well and in a way that is focused on Christ. So that is one thing we are thinking about, and I invite you to dream about that with us and to think about how you might support us in that or how you might like to join. Another thing that we are beginning to think about is 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade Sunday school. So we have this amazing Godly Play program, which you will hear a little bit more about. But I have heard that this year in particular, we have a whole lot of 3rd graders and quite a few 4th and 5th graders too. And those ages, while they have grown up in Godly Play, begin to want something a little bit different. And so we are exploring what it would mean to provide something for them. And again, we are going to be looking for partners, for help in dreaming and thinking and planning, because we want to make this happen, and we want to make it happen fairly quickly so that we can get you all plugged in the way that you would like. I want to also talk a little bit about confirmation. I know I've received a number of emails about that. That is also in the works. We are planning a great confirmation class this year. We're dialing in dates, and so stay tuned because you'll be hearing more about that. Now, all of this, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, parents groups, confirmation classes, requires something really important: volunteers. It turns out that I can't quite be in 4 places all at once, as much as I wish I could be, and so we need support. And we're doing a few things to that end, but I'd like to invite you to join us. The first thing is we are putting together a committee who is going to focus specifically on children, youth, and families. This is a committee who will dream together, a committee who will pray over the future of our children and the future of children's ministries at St. Thomas. It is an exciting opportunity, and so if you are feeling called or led into partnering with us in exploring these options and building out what is very exciting and continuing to grow here at St. Thomas, contact me. You will also find on that back table, there is a sign-up sheet. And you will notice that I didn't put any specific roles or anything like that. It simply is just there for you if you are a parent and you want to get more involved or have your children be involved in Sunday school, write your name down. If you are someone who is thinking about possibly volunteering or partnering with youth ministries with any sort of Christian education, write your name down. If you think being part of that team where we are planning and dreaming and hoping, if you might be called to do that, write it down. If you feel called and you have no idea what you feel called to, write your name down. We will find a place for you. I will sit, we will discern together, we will pray together and find a place, because the children of St. Thomas are so excited for the future of St. Thomas and a need for you to partner with me in that good work. So please go ahead and write your name down on that sheet. So with all of that said, I also want to bring Michael Smith up because he is doing some, speaking of good Christian education through music, doing some exciting things with that as well.
Thank you. I want to tell you about two opportunities for children and youth in music. Our chorister program is for children ages 7 and up. The only qualification is we don't want any boring children. So if your child is boring, we'll find something else for them. And in that program, it really is a Christian education program. It's a faith formation. We teach your children about the Bible through the hymns they sing. We pray together. We learn how to pray. But we also learn how to read music, how to use our voices. And when a child completes our chorister program, they have received the equivalent of a college freshman music theory education. And I've seen it with my own eyes. Many of you have seen it. Kids who come in quiet, without much of a voice, in 3 or 4 years, they are more confident. They are speaking up for themselves. They know how to work as a team. They have increased resilience. And they're fantastic musicians. So, that's our chorister program. To build that chorister program, we have started a new choir, the Joyful Noise Choir. We started it last year. It's growing this year. This is for kids age 4 to 7. And we meet on Tuesdays from 4 to 4:30 p.m. in the choir room just behind the church over there. That has become one of my favorite parts of my week. It's amazing what a 4-year-old and a 5 and 6 and 7-year-old can learn, not just about reading music, and yes, they are reading music at that age, but can learn and express and teach me about Jesus and the Christian faith. And all those things reinforce all of the other education efforts that we're providing. So, 4 to 7, Tuesdays, 4 to 4:30 p.m. 7 and up, again, no boring children, please. Thursdays, 6 to 7:15 p.m. And my email is all over the place. It's on the leaflet. It's on the website. Just reach out, and I'd love to talk to you more about those opportunities. Thank you.
And then we have Sarah. I spotted her. She's hiding in the corner. Who's going to talk a little bit more about this incredible program that we have, Children's Godly Play, which is amazing. I was trained in it last year. It kind of blew my mind, to be honest, how engaged the children were with something that can sometimes, let's be honest, be a little stodgy, right? It's tough to sit and read a story to a child that they've heard maybe over and over again, and this is something new and different and exciting and encourages children to really play with God. And so let's hear a little bit more from Sarah.
Thank you. So I'm Sarah Elliott, and the kids in the classroom call me Miss Sarah. And Mr. Jeff is our other storyteller. He's in the back there, and we have a couple of parents who help us with the storekeepers. So we have Mr. Jason and Miss Liz. So Godly Play is for ages pre-K through 5th grade. Right now, until the 3rd, 4th, 5th program gets launched. It's designed for kids ages 3 to 12. So even the 3rd, 4th, 5th graders, if they do something separate later, right now they are right in the mix, right? They're right where they need to be. We work with a spiral curriculum. So again, as the kids hear the stories, over several years, when they hear it again, they're in a different place, right? And so now they're starting to make new connections that they hadn't had before. So, anyway, pre-K to 5th grade. I want to talk about the play part of godly play, because sometimes when you walk in the room, if you look around, you might think, okay, this is just supervised, like, nursery, right? And the kids just grab toys off the shelf. All of the things that you see in the room are stories. So all the story materials are together for one story, and they're all in order. So it starts with creation, we've got Noah's Ark, we have the story of Abram and Sarai. It moves on from there. We've got the Advent stories, Easter stories, parable stories. We hear about the life of Jesus in the Christmas stories and the Lent and Easter stories. So that when it's time for the kids to respond to the story that they've heard, that's the play part. We call it work when we're in there. This is the kids' work, because that's how young children learn, is by playing. So one of the definitions of play that I love is it has to be voluntary, and it has to be fun, and it has to be for its own sake. So when it's time for the kids to respond to the story, instead of saying, okay, now we're all going to make a craft, the children have choices. They get to choose how they want to respond. And there's a variety to it. They can work with the story materials that they just heard that morning. We've got all sorts of arts materials. They can take other stories that are in the room and work with those materials. We have books. We have some silence materials. We've got little hand labyrinths, and we have some settling jars. The kids always find something to do. So, and one of the reasons that we let them choose is because we are affirming that they have the right to choose, and that we trust them to choose appropriately. We also learn about being in community together, that we respect the materials, we respect each other, and we share. So there's a whole lot that's going on. So it's not just supervised nursery in there. So that's what I'm going to say about Godly Play today. There's so much more to say. If you go through the Godly Play training, it's 22 hours. Of course, I can talk a lot more. So, but what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to invite all the kids who are pre-K to 5th grade and their grown-ups to follow me and Mr. Jeff, and we're going to go to the Godly Playroom. If you have a child who is pre-K to 5th grade, and you also have children who are younger, you are welcome to bring the younger kids today so you can see what's coming up for them. So Mr. Jeff's in the back. We'll all move, and then we'll let you grown-ups see what you do.
We play too, Sarah. Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you so much, Amy. We're going to let them depart, and then I'm going to give you some highlights for our adult forums in the fall. And the first thing I'd like to do is thank Wendy Bailey. Is Wendy here? Wendy's right there. And also Ginger Goodrich. Ginger, I believe, is still in Michigan. And Leah Anderson, who I believe, she's right here, who have been hard at work with me to plan our adult education forums for the fall. I want to give you a high-level overview, but remind you that we have Christian education for adults not just on Sundays. We have lots of weekday options as well, especially Bible studies. We have a wonderful Bible study for adults every Wednesday, 11 o'clock, led by Amy and myself, and that goes right into the 12:10 Eucharist, also taking place every Wednesday, which is a healing service, and just a wonderful opportunity to take a deep breath and connect with God, be nourished by word and sacrament midweek. There are many other Bible studies, including some led by Sarah Elliott, who just spoke about Godly Play. So if you're interested in any of those Bible studies during the week, please let the clergy know, and we will connect you with those leaders. We also have midweek options in Advent, in Lent, which you'll be hearing more about. But today, what I really want to do is focus on our Sunday forums right after the service. And before I even launch into those details, the first thing I want to say is that the adult education team has come together and we just began to ask a simple question. What are we doing? Why? What are these forums all about? And we came up with two main goals. The first is to build community. And I want you to know we're listening to you. And what we're hearing is that you want more opportunities just to connect and be with each other. And so what we're going to do is before we even launch into the lesson or the talk given that day, we're going to have small group time at the table where we have little table topics where you'll be able to introduce yourself to the other people sitting at the table just to get to know each other. 5 minutes, that type of thing. And then we'll introduce the speaker and we'll go into the lesson. We're also going to make time during the presentations for small group discussion occasionally. Again, because we want you to connect. The second is, of course, to build faith through understanding. That's the kind of education aspect. So those are the two main goals. But what we're going to be doing, as I said, is providing more opportunity for connection. And what we also heard from you in terms of feedback in the adult forums is please get a little stricter about the start time and the ending time. So we're going to do that too. We are going to start the forums at 11:30, which means that it's just going to be coffee, conversation, and fellowship from whenever the service ends to 11:30. Promptly, we will start at 11:30 with the forum, and then that will end sharp at 12:15. So it's predictable, and you know exactly when we're going to end. So let me give you some highlights from our fall program, and I hope you'll get, as I am, very excited about some of the great stuff that's coming up. Next Sunday, come and celebrate Reverend Amy. We're going to have cake, and there's going to be a forum where I will just ask some questions, and you'll have an opportunity to get to know her better and hear more about her spiritual journey. We've had a parish read that many of you have heard about by Frederick Bauerschmidt, the book, The Love That Is God. He'll be joining us at the very end of September. And in between there, we're going to have St. James School that's going to come, and they're going to share about the mission and ministry of St. James School on September 21st. In early October, we're going to be hearing from the beekeepers at the Erdenheim Farm, Art Howe and Edian Rodriguez, and I am told also that we will have some samples of honey. So stay tuned for our sacred beekeepers, Art and Edian. And then also coming up, we have our Harvest Fest. That will take place in October as well. And that's, of course, a favorite outreach event here. But on that same day, we will also have a newcomers class for those who would like to become members of St. Thomas, as well as Rabbi Jason Bonder will be visiting that day. He is the new rabbi at Temple Beth Or. So he'll be joining us that day on Harvest Fest. All of these, by the way, will be announced in the email, in the bulletin, so you don't have to worry about running down dates. I'm just trying to give you a sense of our highlights. We're going to get another visit in the fall from Susan von Medicus, who's a wonderful artist who painted the icons that are over in the Hutchinson room. She also painted the clergy vesting area. She is an amazing artist, and she's going to speak on how faith and the arts and the visual arts come together, and she will even give you a little take-home arts project that you can do on your very own. So Susan will be joining us. In addition, we're just going to come together for a great parish breakfast, and that's going to be in early November. We're going to break bread and have some good food together. We're going to have a parish life overview. Jane Hamilton, Margie Rook will be speaking about this recently revitalized team of the church. And then Amy's husband, Justin, will be teaching on faith and artificial intelligence. What do these have to do with each other? Okay, so that will be in November as well. And then another couple of highlights that we have is Michael Smith will be teaching on the Christian imagination, how imagination and the arts come together with our spiritual lives. And then lastly, the thing that I want to highlight for you is The last step of our strategic planning process is where we get to specific ideas that you have for our many ministries here at St. Thomas. On the 25th of October, we're going to be coming together. That's the whole parish coming together, and that's a very important step on the journey. But the very last step that will happen in December is where you bring specific ideas about your particular ministry area and offer them up. And so this is what I mean about your voice counting and how this process is grassroots. So in the second Sunday in December, we would love to see you there for our initiative day of Faith in Action Strategic Planning. So it's going to be a wonderful fall. We have lots of good forums coming up. And I'm wondering if there are any questions that you might have. Deb?
I just get concerned when we have 2 or 3 events going on at the same time. And
Yes.
we got a forum going on and maybe there's 8 people here because
Yes.
they've gone to 1 or 2 other events.
That's a great question.
Not that they're all great, but I just wonder.
It's a great question. Deb is saying, well, gosh, what happens if we have 2 or 3 different options and there's only a few people here, a few people there? My feeling is that people will self-select, Deb. They're going to go into I think most people will stay here in the adult forum. Some of the other options are meant for more of a smaller group because some of the other feedback that we heard is that as much as folks love the larger format, some people would rather go to a smaller group option. So the idea is just to experiment. We'll see if we offer multiple options and how that affects the forum. Other questions?
Did you
Pam.
sign up?
That's a great reminder, Pam. Thank you. Pam and the hospitality team would love it if you would sign up to be a host for the hospitality at one of these forums. You don't have to do them all, but we'd love it if you would sign up for one. There are sign-up sheets right in the back. They're on your table. So sign up. We would love it. It's not a heavy lift in terms of a volunteer opportunity, but it will have a big impact because this is where we connect after church. So I do hope all of you will sign up to host just one forum. Hey.
Could you say more about what's involved in being the host? What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm going to let Pam speak to that. The question is, what's involved in being a host?
Coming here around 9:30. Bill sets up all the coffee. What you do is bring some snacks. There's always 2 people involved. You're not alone. I try to pair new people up with someone who's experienced. You set things out on the table, and then when it's over, you clean up and go home. And now that we're ending promptly at 12:30, it won't be so difficult.
So what about you purchase snacks? Is there a possibility for reimbursement?
Yes, yes. There is a way to be reimbursed, absolutely. You can call me or email me.
So be here 9:30, have a couple of different snack options. You can either donate that or you can ask for reimbursement. Both are great. You come, you set up, go to church, and then afterwards you will just kind of set things out, make sure replenish things as necessary, and then clean up afterwards. And as Pam said, if you're new and you're doing this for the first time, there'll be someone who's done this before many times alongside of you to make sure you feel comfortable. Thank you,
Can I
Lynn.
just add also, there are clear written instructions in there too.
Okay,
And
that's
I
good to
send
know.
reminders to everybody.
So we have also written instructions to help as well for that. Great question. The other thing that we're looking for are those of you who at these adult forums be on the lookout for newcomers and just make them feel welcome, ask them to sit at your table. It's very, very important to have that culture of welcome and hospitality here at the church. Other questions, thoughts, ideas? Wendy?
I would just say with this new idea we have during fellowship time before the forum starts, I know we have all these seats back here and a lot of people enjoy sitting back there, but for that time at least sit at a table because the point is to have conversation and meet people. Once the forum starts, you can welcome to move back to the room, but at least try to fill the tables and
Yeah. Great point. Chris?
I understand
be a little bit different, that'll be in the email, right?
It's a great question. So Chris was asking about some of the forums that are normally here in McCall Auditorium. They'll be held over at McCausland Chapel. For example, Harvest Fest Day, the outreach event. We know that this is, that they'll need to be in this space. We're going to be in McCausland Chapel, where we will have the forum that day. So occasionally the forum and hospitality time will be over on the opposite side of the building, and we'll make sure to announce that in the email as well as the bulletin insert. Any other questions? Thank you so much. God bless you and have a wonderful week. Continue to enjoy